Alright guys, so we are getting started. This is the Plus Weekly Tournament number 21. And we're getting started Swiss rounds, round number 1. Yeah, look at what Prody has up his sleeve. If we all know Prody, he's well known for a little bit of some Extinction shenanigans. And it seems like that's kind of what he has cooking up with his team so far. I've never seen anything like this, Glide. Have you seen anything like this?
Shween and Pocus. I mean, I don't think I've ever really seen a Shween in a competitive scene like this.
Yeah, definitely. And you know, not just he has the goodies in the back line with the Shween, the Pocus as well. And you know what, Glide? 910 actually being a bit threatened by the Shween decides to go with the ban on it as well. But what's interesting is Prody decided to start with the Vulor there. So we're gonna see.
If he was gonna ban the Shween, that means that he was worried about the crystal damage it was gonna do on the mix.
Yeah, potentially. But the mix, a crystal spike onto Shween, you know, it's not effective damage, but it's still a lot of damage. Shween doesn't have the most, you know, defensive stats or highest HP stats, so it's not too tanky, so it can get pretty much two-shot by perhaps 2 crystal spikes. But these guys went ahead and picked their team, so Prody versus 9, 10, 12. That's how we're starting off the tournament. Mixing the Rays and Grandpa and the spicy Vulor. And Matt Gia, it's Glideheart, guys. Glideheart's joining us here today.
The Shween also had the water damage for the rise too, so now he doesn't really have a water to go with that.
Very true, very true. The aquatic bullet hells are pretty significant. So yeah, you know, Glide, we haven't been seeing too much lately, but as you just said, Glide, the rise, that was a big player in the old meta with the crazy turbo choreographies that was running around in every single one's team. The rise was a key temtem to slow that pace down, to slow the speeds down, and it kind of fell off since people stopped playing turbo. But maybe 910's onto something, bringing it back. We'll see if it plays out for him in this game.
910 brought that Gazuma out too. I've always been an advocate for Gazuma. I love using my Gazuma.
Yeah, you and Ash love the Gazumas. But yeah, Gazuma's looking pretty decent here. Really strong against Grandpa. Really strong against Barnchy. So yeah, looking Temtem for Temtem. Looks rather even. You know, the Lawali kind of checks the Tortenite there, but you know, Tortenite checks things like the Gazuma and the Dorboros, so pretty even. And speaking of the Gazuma, Glide, here we go. So Crystal Spike onto the Grandpa. Okay, solid 25%. Oh, Glideheart, do you see what Prody's up to here? He went with the cheer up on the Vulor, so that means Extinction is online this turn, guys. Extinction is online. 910 is in a predicament here. Extinction gonna be coming out this very next turn. Prody the mad lad with the cheer up turn 1. Who runs cheer up on Grandpa? Prody, the one and only.
Prody does, I guess, if you wanted an Extinction this early.
Yeah, if you guys don't know what cheer up does, it increases one turn of any hold move, right? So Extinction being 2 hold, it was just 1 hold there. So now Extinction is online. So now 910 has to consider, what does he want to get extinct here? Because he could make some switches. But
I wouldn't give up that Gazuma yet, especially if he wants it for the Barnchy and the Grandpa later on.
Yeah, really good call, Glide. So yeah, I think the Gazuma might be pulled back. But if you look at every Temtem on 910's side, they're all pretty valuable. I mean, if we had to pick one, I feel like the Rays doesn't do too much. In terms of speed control, there's a Grandpa, there's a Barnchy for the turbo, but the other Temtem not really taking too much advantage of the speed control, so maybe the Rays could eat the Extinction. But the other Temtem, they're all valuable here, so it's gonna be rough.
Well, we also know that the Grandpa doesn't have the Talisman, so if he does use the Extinction right now, he's killing his own Grandpa too.
Oh, very true. We see it there on the item placement there. That's the one that just mitigates 10% from dual typing Temtem. Alright, so choosing to go with Lowali and sparking the Lowali. Interesting. So increasing that special attack damage. Oh. And guys, that was the first time we've seen willpower drain in a competitive setting, but as we were just mentioning, Extinction is gonna be popping off. Oh,
the individualists!
Yeah, Glideheart. So Grandpa is safe. So it's actually just the Vulor gonna be doomed. So not too bad. Guys, Extinction coming out. So 9/10s, Temtems, as well as the Vulor here. 3 turns is all they have remaining on this board. And else, no matter what health they're at, they're gonna be going down. So spicy stuff to start off turn 1, or to start off the first couple turns.
So Prody's Banshee is perfectly safe now. He just has to wait 3 turns for the Kizuma to go away, and then it should have a pretty decent ride.
This is huge, Glideheart. The sparks intended to go for the Grandpa connects. If that was a Hypoxia, of course hindsight's 2020, but if that was a Hypoxia catching the Tortenite might have been going all the way down, because that's a +2 special attack Lowali. That's a hard hitting boy right there. But you know, Glide, it's always on the clock. That's what Extinction does. So you don't want to switch out anything. You just want to just go pedal to the metal, apply pressure. And right now, Lowali, with Tortenite getting caged there, a big Hypoxia is heading Tortenite's way. And there's nothing Prody could do. Tortenite might be going down in this very next turn. We're gonna see though. You know, also though, Tortenite has that crystal spike glide, so Kizuma. Oh!
Use cage.
Ah, so with the alert on the Vulor, knocked out the Extinction, so Prody has the whole game plan set out for him. So Vulor no longer doomed. But as we mentioned, the big hitting Hypoxia with +2 special attack, Tortenite going down.
Well then realistically, if he could do that to himself somehow and bump the Doom off of one of his Tems, I don't know if he has the time to do that though.
Yeah, I mean, I'm trying to think if there's anything Kizuma or Lowali learn that can do it. Usually you need those hypnosis, usually you need something like a tick of burn, a tick of poison. But I don't think none of these have access. Actually, no, Lowali does have toxic spores, but might not be running it here, so that would be a way. But you know, you do gotta poison your own Temtem.
Well, I think it would be worth if he could toxic spore his own Kizuma, then his Kizuma can still be around for the Banshee later, but Extinction's probably already back up.
Yeah, definitely, Glide. So Extinction is back up. So he could do it again, but maybe waiting for the next set of Temtems on 9/10 side. But we'll see. I mean, the Grandpa's out. Let's see what's on the back line. So it's the Capyre and the Banshee. So maybe a good electric storm incoming soon. But Prody, knowing this, most likely gonna be switching to Capyre. So trying to bait here. Trying to bait the Kizuma electric attack out. And you know, Glide, is pretty funny because both of these Temtems on the board currently have access to Extinction. But man, that hurts. Both of those Tems were like at 100 HP, weren't they?
Yeah, they were still 100 HP. The Lowali was low on stamina, but it still had perfect health.
Yeah, and that's the power of Extinction. So just like that, in the blink of an eye, Kizuma and the Lowali get brought down, so 2 Temtems knocked out. So in terms of Temtem advantage so far, I mean, pretty even since the Vulor is pretty low right there.
That Capyre is gonna have Extinction ready to go now as well, so even if they do take out the Vulor, it's still gonna be able to do Extinction.
Yeah, I can agree with that, Glide. The only thing here is that these two temtems right here, so the Dorboros paired up with the mix, is just set up to output so much damage. So even if these tems do get extinct, they have so much potential to output with something like Psychic Collaborator. Even in those 3 turns, they might get the job done. We're gonna see though. The thing is, the Barnchy and the Grandpa in the back line, those temtems might just beat the remaining of 9 tems, so it's gonna be tough. Prody's looking a bit in an advantageous position as it stands, but we're gonna see how it plays out.
It also doesn't have the Tortenite to do the cage again, so it can't push off the extinction of whatever 10 it gets extinct.
Yeah, really good call, Glide. So maybe not going with the same Extinction game plan. Gonna be swapping out for Grandpa and just going for a solid Embers on a Dorboros. And man, Glide, that double screen putting in work. So basically every good Temtem is dual typing, so taking away that 10% of that damage, that Beta Burst barely tickled the Grandpa.
I think the only one really right now that's in the meta that's not dual type is Moflank, and he's just neutral, and he would take extra damage from a mental attack anyway.
Yeah, definitely. So let's see here. Capyre went with the Embers, so not trying to touch the mix there. Even though Capyre is effective on the mix, fire against Crystal. The thing is though, Glide, Grandpa does have a heavy hyperkinetic strike. Not the heaviest, it's base speed, actually -1 speed. So hyperkinetic strike, not as crazy. If it was like a +2 speed, maybe could one-shot this Adoraboros here. But saving it for a little bit down the line.
He doesn't seem to want to mess with that Puppet Master either.
Oh, but the swap gonna be catching the Barnchy, 2x damage.
Neutrality on Barnchy though takes care of the extinction.
Yeah, so good swap out there. Oh, and the Capyre with the Talisman. So only the Tems on Prody's board, or sorry, on 910's board getting connected, but look at that, the Psychic Collaborator doing so much. I actually thought it was going down there, so not as much as I would have imagined.
It's still one of my favorite moves. It looks the best.
Yeah, I agree with you guys. It looks incredible. But you know what? It's still 3 turns, so Doom, these Temtems are still healthy. Barnchy does have something like a Tornado or a Hypoxia for Adoraboros, but if Barnchy stays in, we saw how much damage Crystal Spike did. So if Barnchy stays in, it's gonna be dropping dead. Even before, well, it depends on the speed. Barnchy technically a bit faster than Mix usually. But even with this Doom here, Glide, I still think 910 with that ticking time bomb is still going to be able to output enough damage.
That Grandpa's doing a whole lot of work and absorbing all those blows because of the Talisman thing, or not Talisman, whatever it is.
Oh, such a good read from Prody there. So Crystal Spike almost killing it, but you guys know Volcrane or Vulor is 1/4 damage. So fire being resistant to Crystal, earth being resistant to Crystal, 1/4 damage, eating that Crystal Spike the best any Temtem can. So let's see what these guys are able to do. We haven't seen it yet, Glide. We haven't seen the hyperkinetic strike or any wind move for that matter.
He might just be meaning it for it to be a damage sponge.
Yeah, let's see. So 2 turns on the clock. 910 has to output enough damage. He only has the raise in the back, and the raise does not win this game. These are the Temtem 910's needs. Alright, so Barnchy perhaps going for a turbo play here. Oh, but catching the Barnchy as it comes in. Oh. And glad that's always what I wondered. So it stole the stamina from Mix there, but it looks like it didn't overexert it.
I don't think it ends up overexerting it. I think it just takes away all the stamina so that if it does do something, it's gonna damage it. But with the Doom on anyway, it's about to go down, so even if it does overexert itself, it doesn't really matter if it loses health.
Very true. And you know what, Glideheart? That -1 speed that the Grandpa got in the very beginning of turn 1 coming into effect right now. So Grandpa usually fire, but wait a second, we gotta see this flaming meteorite. Huge. But what I was saying is the speed come into effect. Grandpa usually faster than the Mix, but with that -1 speed, the Mix Crystal Spike outspeeding Willpower Drain, so Mix doesn't overexert, of course.
Oh, that's what he was trying to do. Okay.
Yeah, because they're both 3 prio moves, so Crystal Spike and Willpower Drain are 3 prio moves, but the Mix still going first because of that -1 speed. But Glide, this is looking dangerously close. So Raze versus 2 Temtems in the red health. Oh, this. Oh, you know, it looks like 910 definitely has this though.
I think full health, right? I think he can do this.
Yeah, I think so too. I mean, it depends how much this hyperkinetic strike's gonna do. Vulor most likely access to Stone Ball, which is super effective against Raze here. So we gotta see. Oh, Ember's going first from that -2 speed. Glide, maybe the speed definitely more impactful than we've imagined.
Yeah, he was able to get his Embers out before the Grandpa could do anything. If the Grandpa had been able to do some damage there with that hyperkinetic, he might have been able to take him out, but I'm not sure. He might have been left with a tiny bit of health, and if he's faster than the Vulor, which he is, then I think he might have this.
Yeah, the #1 question here, you know, Vulor is a fire Temtem, so it doesn't get any tick of Embers there from the Raze, so he has to do the full 9%. Does Raze have enough Fire Flame? Oh, not enough. Wait, Prody might win this. Wait, that only did 4% damage. Prody wins. If the Fire Tornado, wait, Fire Tornado has to kill. Fire Tornado has to kill. If Fire Tornado does not kill, Prody wins. If Fire Tornado kills, this has to kill. Oh! So close, so close.
That was close.
Yeah, but the Fire Tornado 910 pressing Fire.